Good morning, or indeed good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you might be joining us from today. Welcome to another PV Magazine webinar. I am Mark Hutchins, editor at PV Magazine, joining you on this pretty grey morning here in Berlin. And thanks a lot for being in our audience today. Happy to share another great webinar with you all. So like many in solar manufacturing this year, we are talking today about TOPCon, that's tunnel oxide passivated contact cell technology, something many of the largest solar manufacturers see as the future or even the present now of PV technology. Stats from PV InfoLink forecast around a 7% market share for TOPCon this year in 2022, which could jump beyond the 20% mark next year and is widely expected to keep growing from there as well. Process improvements and cost reductions already have been key to making TOPCon a commercially viable route to higher performance PV cells and modules. And we are fortunate today to be able to speak with one of the technology's earliest backers, that is China's Jolywood. In just a moment, Ellen Ma, product manager at Jolywood, is online with us and will share a few details of the company's latest TOPCon offering, a new module for the residential market, and some of the technologies behind it as well, including in-house developed solutions that have been key to scaling, such as Jolywood's PopAid in situ doping solution. Following on from Ellen, we also have reports on actual TOPCon modules already in the field from Germany's IBC Solar, which has worked with Jolywood's modules in its projects for a little while already. And Florian Meschler, product manager at IBC Solar, is on hand to share some findings on the module's performance in actual installations here in Europe. And that will be today's webinar. I will hand over to Ellen in just a moment. First, a couple of housekeeping points from me. We are, of course, broadcasting live today. Please do send in your questions for all of today's speakers using the questions function on Big Marker, our webinar platform. We should have a bit of time at the end, and I will be feeding your questions into the discussion after the presentations today. So don't be shy. We will try to get through as many of your questions as we can. And one that I will quickly answer now is that yes, the recording and the slides from today's webinar will be available afterwards. These are emailed out to all who registered just shortly after we wrap up today. And you can listen back to this webinar at your leisure at pv-magazine.com/webinars. Here you can listen back to all of our past webinars and have a look at what we have coming up as well. Lots of great webinars on the way this month, so please do check those out. For now, though, I will hand over to Ellen Ma, product manager at Jolywood. Ellen, over to you.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. So, very nice to meet you guys at PV Magazine's webinar. So, today I will represent Jolywood Solar to introduce our newest products, which is actually designed for the residential markets. And my presentation today will be divided into 4 parts. So, the first one will be introduce Jolywood Solar as a company. Then I will introduce our JTOPCon 2.0 technologies applied on the newer products, and also some key advantage of the newer products. And the final part will give you the product planning. So let me just start to the first part. So Jolywood Solar, we are established in 2016, and we started doing the N-type technology at the same years. So actually, we are the first company in China to doing the N-type technology into the mass production. And up to now, we are being listed in the Bloomberg Tier 1 company, and all of our product was be covered by the Munich reinsurance. And as a company who are doing the green energy, we are also mainly focused on the environmental friendly. So we are the number of the PV cycles. And also our company has been awarded as the EOPD top brands and the global top 500 energy companies. Also, as the leader of N-type bifacial solar cells technologies, we have a very strong R&D teams. So in the lab, we have more than 300 R&D team members, and we have applied more than 200 applied patents. And this October, our large size cells has achieved 26.1 efficiency in the lab, which is the new world record for the TOPCon technology right now. So, which is another achievement by Jolywood's R&D teams. And also we have stronger production compatibilities, and we have module capacity of 3.5 gigawatt and the cells capacity of 7.6 gigawatt. And we still have 12 gigawatt under construction and will be finished by the end of 2023. And according to the data from our factory, the sales efficiency right now, we have achieved more than 34.8% in the mass production. And later on, I will show you the radio of our production line. And also, as a global company, we have shipped the product to over 16 countries of more than 5.6 gigawatt products. And also we have 10% market share in the Middle East, including some famous projects, like we have the 500 megawatts N-type project in Armenia, which actually is the world's largest N-type power station right now. Then we will move to the next part. We'll introduce the technologies of our NEMAS products. So as we all know that the year 2020 is a bigger year for N-type technologies, we can see that there are more and more companies has shifted their production line from P-type to N-type. So the first question come out is, what is actually an N-type solar cells? So generally, we can say that the P-type solar cells use the boron dopes, but the N-type cells use the phosphorus dopes. And what is the advantage of this? So firstly, the P-type solar cells use the boron doping silicon wave, which can easily form a BO pairs after the initial illuminated, and which will result in a very small reduction in the power generations. That is what we call LIDs. But the P-type technologies will have no LID and LETID naturally due to it use the different dopings. And also due to the structure is different. So the N-type solar cells usually will have longer lifetimes, lower degradations, higher bifaciabilities, and lower temperature coefficients. So that's the reason why more and more companies are shifting the production line to N-type right now. And then we have another question is, what is N-TOPCon? So N-type solar cells also have different technologies like the HJT or the TOPCon. So TOPCon, which is stand for the tunnel oxidized passivated contents. So if we look at the structure here, so it is actually very similar as the N-PERC. The only difference is it has the attentional tunnel oxide layer and the polysilicon layers. So this structure here can actually help to increase the efficiency of the solar cells. To right now, the theoretical efficiency for TOPCon is like more than 28.7%, which is the highest theoretical efficiency compared with the HJT. And Jolywood Solar has successfully upgraded the production line from N-PERC to N-TOPCon since 2019. And the reason why we choose this technology at its very early stage, because we believe that this technology will bring customer with a higher efficiency, and also due to the structure is very similar as the N-PERC, so which means the cost will be much cheaper than the HJT. Then we move to next part. So as we mentioned about the polysilicon layer, it's the key structure of the TOPCon cells. So the poly deposition and the doping mass is actually very important for the TOPCon cells. And compared with the P-PERC technology, so the P-PERC technology usually will come out with 9 steps, but if you look at the TOPCon technology, it will come out with the 12 steps. Generally, more steps actually means you will have higher cost and lower yield. And At the beginning, we used this TOPCon 1.0 technology. So this technology actually use the deposition rate called the LPCVD. So the LPCVD is the most widely used technology in the market right now. It is a well-developed technology used in the mass production. But the main defects we found that the cells under LPCVD production will result in a polysilicon web around, which means you need to have a removal process to remove this polysilicon web. And this process is very difficult due to it is difficult to control. And when you're doing the cleaning, it may cause some negative impacts, such as it will reduce the efficiency, also will cause some high current linkage. And here is the process to introduce why the LPCVD will need to have the attentional cleaning process. So the LPCVD, which is called the low pressure chemical vapor depositions. So when the temperature is very high, the silicon wave will become softer. So the gas will be diffused inside in the middle of the web, which will cause some unavoidable web around the polysilicons. And if we look at the AL picture here, we can see there is a significant back edge at the edge of the solar cells. As a result, it will reduce the cell's efficiency and will reduce the yields, and consequently will increase the cost. So under this situation, Jolywood has self-developed a technology to avoid this issue, which we call as TOPCon 2.0 technologies. And we named this technology as POPATE. So POPATE is actually stand for the plasma assist oxidide and the plasma institute doping depositions. So Jolywood is the first and only company to use this technology into the mass production. So under these technologies, the terminal oxide will be more uniform compared with the standard process, which means under this process, we can ensure that there is no any wave pearly around. So don't need to have the attentional cleaning process. And moreover, under this process, the thickness of the poly layer and the doping concentration can be easily to control, which means we can successfully increase the efficiency and also the yields. So according to the data from our factory, the modules apply the TOPCon 2.0 technology can have the max production reach more than 24.8%. And we're talking lots about the advantage at cells level. So what it will comes to the modules level. So compare with the TOPCon 1.0 technology, the 2.0 technology will make the electricity linkage reduce from more than 0.5% to less than 0.01%. The back edge will reduce from more than 1.1% to less than 0.1%. So those will successfully minimize the risks of hotspot and fire, which means for the end customer, it will much safety for your roof. And also, Jolywood as the company, the first company in China to doing the N-type technology into mass production. The first generation we have is start from the 2060. So at that time, we use the technology is the N-perk. So at the moment, the efficiency is around 21%. So although it looks very old at this time, but at year 2016, this efficiency is actually very high. And then we come to the 2090s. So from this year, we have successfully upgraded from N-perk to N-TOPCon. And also the efficiency has significantly increased to around 22% to 23.5%. But at this stage, we found out that the LPCVD technology will cause the polysilicon web around. And we found our new solution is the TOPCon 2.0 technology. So right now, all of our product is adopt the 2.0 technologies, which can give you the max production of 24.8%. And the Jolywood R&D teams are continue working on increase the efficiency of the solar cells. And as I mentioned before, this year, our TOPCon 3.0 technology, which is still in the live stage right now, they have the new world record efficiency, which is 26.1%. But this technology is still in the lab stage, but I believe it will come out to the max production soon. And also in the future, we will have this JTBC and JTOPCons to continuously give our customer with a higher efficiency of the solar modules. And then I already talked lots of the advantages of our technologies, but NEWA as the products of the residential market. So what is its advantages for the end customers? So the NEWA product is used the large wave, which is the 185 millimeters wave, comma with the SMBB technologies. So it will have 16 busbars, which can give you the highest efficiency of 22.27% and give you the high power of 435 volts. And if you use the double glass modules, it can give you the higher specifiability to 85%. And also it can give you the high reliability, about 30 years product warranties. And also if you use the NEWA Lights series, you can control the weight under 20 kilowatts to significantly reduce the labor costs and increase the installation efficiency by 20 to 13%. And also, as the product designed specifically for the residential markets, we care about its performance under the outdoor environments. And I think for most of the residential projects, the solar panel are integrated with the buildings, which means the most important things for customer is about the safety. So Jolywood Solar are very care about the safety designs. At sales level, our propelled technology achieved no polysilicon web arounds. And under this situation, the current linkage is very low. And when we come to the modules level, whether the local current linkage or the overshadowing, the risk of hotspots will be significantly reduced. And especially if the modules is operate on the high temperature and you have the ducts of the shadowing on the part of the modules, we can see the picture here. The temperature difference between the cells is actually very small, which means it will significantly reduce the risk of hotspots to ensure we have 30 years outdoor operation lifetime. And also, our NEWA products has adopted SMBB technologies, which is the low strength designs. So we're doing the stimulation of the thermodynamic process, and we found that the 16 bus bar is the best design for the modules. And combined with the special bus bar design, we can significantly reduce the residual strength and also to reduce the micro crack, to ensure the long-term reliability for our customers. And also, the NEWA product will come to have the high-strength steel frame designs. And nowadays, more and more people care about the carbon emissions. And we found that the steel frame is actually a good option for reduce the carbon emissions. And at the present, Jolywood introduced the steel frames, which is a closed structure, and we applied these patents since 2019. And right now, we have more than 10 relative patents related to these designs. And also, we found that the steel frame has better load resistance than the aluminum frames, which means it will be more stable for the roof installations. And also the design is compatible with the conventional modules installations, which means you don't need to have the attentional installation process. It will still be very easy for the installer to install this. And then also we talking lots about the advantage for our products. So what it will actually operate under the outdoor environments. So here we have come up with 3 tests. So the first test is the DH2000 test, which is also stand for the human test. So we can see the number here. After the human test, the degradation rates will be less than 3%. And also we're doing the PID test. So after PID test, the degradation rates will still less than 1.5%. And we have the TC20 test, which is the thermal circle test. So under the which will stand for the high temperature operatings. So we can see that under this test, the degradation rate is around 0.5% to 0.25%, which means it's almost like no degradation rate. So we can conclude that the newer products, all of the newer products has passed the 2 times IEC standard testings to ensure its reliability for the end customers. And also before we mentioned lots of the things about the hotspots and the hill tests. And here we're also doing those 2 tests. So for the hotspot tests, we can see that the degradation rate is only around 0.6% to 0.25%. And the EL picture of before the test and after the test is almost the same. And also we do the hill test. The degradation rate is only around 0.1%. And if we look at the outlookings and the ELs, is exactly same as the products doing the test before. So we can conclude that into the sales level, our newer products has no polysilicon vapor runs, the low current linkage, and excellent performance in module hotspot tests. And in the module size, we have reasonable optimized designs, the low resistance strengths in the modules, almost no change in the appearance in the EL and the hill tests, and also with very light degradations. Then I will move to the final part. It's about our product plannings. So here is the newer family. So right now we have 6 different modules. So the first 3 will be the newer black. So they will be the all black designs. It's better for the customer who want to have a good looking panels. And also we have those 2 panels here. It's called the Niwa Pro. So Niwa Pro will have the high efficiency and also will be very cost competitiveness for the customers. And then we have the last one is the single glass module, which we call the Niwa Lights. So Niwa Lights will be very light. The weight will be controlled under 20 kilowatts. So it will be easier for the installer to doing the installation on the rooftop. And in the future, we will continuously to improve our modules in terms of its lookings, its performance, its powers, and also to ensure the high reliability for our customer to give them an operating safety panels. So there will be end of my presentation today, and then I will show you the product video of Niwa products, and also it's the production line for the Niwa products.
All right, thank you very much to Ellen Ma of Jolywood for your presentation there. Couple of nice videos as well. Always exciting to see these huge production lines in action. Great soundtrack there as well. All right, I will stop chattering away and pass on to our next presenter for this morning, and that is Florian Meschler of IBC Solar in Germany. Florian, welcome. Great to have you with us today.
Hi, thank you, Mark. Thank you for introduction, and of course, thank you to Alan for the view of a manufacturer, and of course, showing the benefits of a manufacturer. And today, I want to give you a little view on here on IBC Solar, what we are doing and what we are. And of course, I want to show you some references with Jolywood modules and the corresponding opinions of the installers, but also of the end users or end customers which are using the PV systems. Yeah. So for all who not know what IBC Solar is doing, we are a PV system distributor. We are a global provider of photovoltaic energy storage solutions and services. So we want to offer complete systems, and we want to cover the entire product range from the planning, but also to the turnkey handover of photovoltaic systems. We have an experience of 40 years. That means we are founded 1982 by Udo Mörstedt. He is a kind of a PV pioneer here in Germany. Yeah. Nowadays, we have around about 380 employees in 6 countries and have 14 locations. And with this manpower and also with our business partners, we installed 6 gigawatts of power. And with this power, we made more of 3 million people happy. So they have a solar system on the roof or as a power plant. And this ends in a turnover of 374 million euros in 2021. Yeah, for 2022, we haven't no current data, but I'm sure we are higher than this. Yeah, and we are working in 3 segments. So we want to provide in every segment from residential to commercial, industrial, and power plants our products. So the residential topic is more or less it has to be very flexible because the customers are very different. The one needs, for example, an e-mobility connection. The next one needs an need on request, and so yeah, we want to provide every customer his own system. And yeah, for commercial and industrial, it's yeah, it's mostly bigger systems, but also there is, for example, a charging infrastructure, what the customers are asking for, or the monitoring. And the last part, or last segment, it's the power plants. For this, we cover all phases from of the construction of a solar park. So from project development over investment management to the operations and maintenance. And now perhaps there is the question, what are the differences of IBC Solar to other distributors? For us, it's very important to deliver high quality. So we have very high quality standards, and how we want to secure this. We have a known test laboratory with several instruments for testing. For example, we have a flasher to double check the power of a module. So we are working on not believing what the manufacturer says. So we are controlling it also, and to be sure that we are providing the best quality. So we have also an EL camera to find micro cracks, for example. And as the IBC Solar is not only providing Germany, also in Norway with very cold conditions, or in Spain and Portugal with very hot conditions. We have a climate chamber to see if the module is built for such areas. And in the lower row, you see of the pictures, you see one with a loading table. Why is this special? We are not only testing the module on itself and the mounting system for itself, we are testing it in combination. We have an own mounting system, so we are using, for example, for such tests, our Aerofix G3 mounting system with a module of Jolywood, and we are testing if it works well together, and then we are sure that the system works very good, and yeah, we can guarantee that we can stay with this loadings. And what is also nice to know, we have a test plant. You see it on the right picture in the lower row. That there we do some long-term tests and short-term tests. I think the longest test we have there is around about 40 years. So we also know how is the long-term period of the modules. Now I come to the second part of my presentation. It's the references of the of Jolywood modules, and for this we took the Jolywood HD120N all black module. It's a bifacial TOPCon module based on M6 wafers. So I have 4 case studies, and for this I asked for the opinions of the installer, but also from the end customer. From my point of view, it's very important to know the feedbacks from them, because only when we fit the market, then it's a good module. Yeah, and the first system, it's an east-west system with our Aerofix G3 and a total capacity of 12 kilowatt peaks. And the installer told me that the smaller size, because of the M6 wafer format, is great for him, because it's easier to transport to the rooftop. And when I asked the end customer, of course, he has other benefits than the smaller size. He liked the bifaciality of the module, because he can produce more energy with the same size of module. And what he also liked was the glass structure. So it's very solid, and his opinion that this is a module who lasts very long. The next system, it's a southwest brick pitched roof system with 6 kilowatt peaks, and our customers choose it because it's a TOPCon module, so it's a high efficiency module, and for the installer it was very important to have a very good performance, but also with a good price, because some customers are also price sensible, and for them it's good to have a really good performance with a good price point. And on this, the customer told me that he also liked the warranty times for this module. So, it's 25 years product warranty and 30 years performance warranty. And this is, from our point of view, an outstanding warranty, which Jolywood provides to the customers, and what the customers likes. Then the third reference, it's an east-west system with our older Aerofix G2 generation. It has a total capacity of 14 kilowatts. And you see in the picture on the right side, also in the right side of the picture, there is an older system with a different mounting structure. And when it comes, when the customer thought about a new PV plant on his roof, he told us, okay, he want to use the complete roof. So that's why he chose the Aerofix system, but also he want to generate the highest power. So that's why he chose the Jolywood module as a bifacial module. Yeah, and the installer told us he likes the warranty time as before. He likes to give his customers, so the end users, long warranty times. And the last one, it's a south brick pitched roof system with 9 kilowatt peaks. And normally I don't want, I do not like this picture because you don't see the complete roof top and so on. But on the other side, it's a really great picture because you see the modules better, and in combination also to the black tiles. You see now you see the all black of this HD 120N. And it's a really great look for a rooftop in combination with the black tiles and with the black mounting system. So it's a unique look and homogeneous look, and this is what the customer is looking for. And the installer likes it because of the glass structure. It's a really solid solution from his point of view, and that's why he chose this. Hopefully, this references shows you why customers choose such modules, such glass bifacial modules, and I'm looking forward to answer to your questions. And Mark, are there any questions?
Thanks, Florian. Great to see some of these modules in action. There certainly are plenty of questions coming in, and we should we should be able to welcome Ellen back in just a second. I will start. I will start with. Oh, hi, Ellen. Great to see you again. So I will start with a question for you, Florian. Quite a few of those systems you showed us there were east-west setup. Is that just coincidence today that those are the ones you chose, or is this becoming more common?
Yeah, I think the combination east-west is for every family house rooftop a good solution when you can take this solution, because normally a family works over the day. So when do you use the most of energy? It's in the morning and in the evening. And when you push the peaks of such a system to the morning and to the evening, it's very cute for the end users.
Okay. So it sort of matches the demand profile a
Yeah.
bit more closely a lot of the time. Okay, great. Okay, and then let's go back to looking at the module again. Ellen, I think the first question here still for TOPCon is how is the production cost looking, and when do you expect to see cost parity with PERC in the in the next year or two?
Yeah. So I think the in the market right now, so actually the price for the TOPCon is consequently reduced. And I believe you will be like stay stable same with the perk maybe next years. And also for the TOPCon 3.0 technology I mentioned before. So for this technology, we have the plan like to replace the silver with the other metals. So I think there is one possibility ways for the market right for the manufacturing line right now to reduce the cost because we know the silver will be much more expensive than other metals. And also we have applied the 16 bus bar. So when you have the bus bar become thinner, actually the cost of the metal will be cheaper than you have the 11 bus bar or 5 bus bars. And because at the moment we cannot control the price of silicons, so the main solution we have is to control the price of other no silicons cost, like the metals of other things. So, but according to the data we purchased, I think the cost will be like quite similar as the perk maybe until next year, 2023.
Okay, sure. Another question very popular with our audience this morning is about the steel frame for this module.
Yeah.
So I mean, first of all, how what's the difference in cost between your steel frame and a sort of standard aluminum frame?
I think I mentioned before is that we are finding a way to reduce the cost of the manufacturing costs for the modules. So the steel frame is actually another possibility for to reduce the competitive cost for the modules because the price of the aluminium is more cheaper, and actually the price of the aluminium is like consequently increase in the market right now. So finding a way to replace the aluminium like the steel will be very cost effective for the end customers and also for the modules manufacturing like us. And also the steel frame also have the high reliability compared with the aluminium frames, especially when you have the very extreme environment like the hill or have snow. So I think maybe it is the good choice for the customer to shift their aluminium frame to the steel frame.
Uh-huh. And on the reliability side, actually, we also have a few questions about rust resistance. How is that treated with this frame?
Rust resistance, which part you mean?
Yeah, the in steel it can rust. The metal can oxidize when it gets
Yeah,
wet,
so
I think.
actually we have doing some tests in the lab right now. So actually the stress test for the steel frame will be much better than aluminium due to the strength is different for those two type of the metals.
Okay, sure. And are the is the steel frame, does this make the module heavier?
Yeah, I think still made the module slightly be heavier, but we do have the option for the customers. For example, like the beneficial modules, the double glass modules, they also will be heavier for the single glass modules, or some customers just like this. So we can give just customers some options that we still have the aluminium frames right now, and we want to shift the production to the steel frames, but we will see what is the market like.
Okay. So you expect possibly you'll be producing only steel frames in the next few
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
or and that would be a bigger market trend as well. Um, okay, I think well that covers the steel frame questions for this morning. One more question on the module side, Ellen. You showed us those nice test results, and one person in the audience asks, was the PID test done under both positive and negative voltage?
The PID test.
Yes, yeah.
So for each test, we have choose the same module. So we do the 4 times. So I think the test result is a little bit different, but we take the average of this.
Okay, sure. Okay, well, thanks a lot, Ellen. Let's try and bring Florian a little bit back into the conversation at this point. Well, Ellen, you mentioned another aspect of the steel frame is the ease of installation. Is Florian, is this something that you see plays out in the field?
Mm, what do you mean exactly? If there is any difference of steel frame to aluminum frame mounting, or
I guess yeah, in terms of the install of the installation or the system design.
yeah, when I get the point right from Alan, the design of the frame should be the same. So I see not any topics yeah uh, by installation.
Okay,
Uh,
sure. So it's an identical frame, just a different material.
yeah.
Okay, and we saw Florian a nice preview in your presentation of IBC's test laboratory. Do you do testing there beyond the IEC standards, or is it more about confirming these for yourself?
We have our own standards, of course, and we test every module we bring to our portfolio. So we can be sure that every module in our portfolio has our high standards, or fitting to our high standards. Yes.
Okay, sure. Still still more questions coming in about the steel frame right now. Do you see in the field, Florian? Do you see an issue with corrosion in steel frames, or is that something that's dealt with?
Um, I'm not the perfect man to decide if steel or this frame can rust or not. Uh,
Sure.
so we will see how it works in the field. But in my opinion, when the manufacturer like Jolywood decides to take an steel frame, they they are sure that they will not rust. It makes no sense to damage their own brand by using a frame which will rust.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, and so sorry, I'm jumping around on topics a little bit here, but going back to the testing laboratory, Florian, that you showed us. How I mean, how do you select modules, and how many of the modules that you're going to use would you put aside for extra testing?
And normally we take 3 to 6 modules for testing to have a good average over the test object or the test module. And yeah, when we are deciding to take a new, for example, new brand or an evolution module, so an evolution module is like Jolywood told us before, they are optimize the current module with a steel frame, for example. When we take the steel frame again, then we ask for some samples, and then we test, in this case, especially the frame on the loading bench.
Okay, sure. Um, okay, moving, I guess back a bit more to module design. Ellen, I think Jolywood at the moment is working primarily with the 182 millimeter cell. Do you have other sizes in production at the moment, and how do you see that developing?
We still have the smaller size, the 166 mils. So I think Flora just showed some samples on those factory be installed in the rooftop. But although it is the smaller size, but I think still some customer like this design, because compared with the 182 cells, the 166 cells is more wider. I think it's lighter. So if you use for the residential market, compared with the BOS, it's no very significantly reduced compared with 182, but weight will be much more lighter. So I think for residential market, still lots of customer like this design.
Okay, sure. And have you also evaluated the even larger one, the 210 millimeter?
The 210 meter, I'm not sure. Oh, we have the pending of this, but it's no sales to the customers yet. So, but for the newer product, our design is for the residential. So I think for residential 166 and 182 is more better. So rather than the largest one, the 210 one.
Okay, certainly for the residential sector. And you mentioned also, so you're working with a 16 bus bar design on this module. I mean, I think that's more than the sort of industry standard of 9 or 12. Is that a challenge in production? I know it can be quite challenging with the alignment and things like that.
Yeah, it still be a little bit challenging, but I think we have already been adopt this technology into the mass production right now. So some of the customers should already receive those products with the 16 bus bar designs. And from the customer side, I think the 16 bus bar will help them to reduce the micro crack, as I mentioned before. And from our side, this design actually will reduce the cost and make us to make the price for the TOPCon will be similar as the perk. So it will more cost effect competitive for the customers.
Okay, sure. And so how does this reduce costs actually?
Because the bus bar will be more thinner, so you will use less silver than the 11 bus bar or the 12 bus bar.
Okay. Just by being thinner, it's overall less consumption. Okay, interesting. Okay, we're almost getting through all the questions. And and I think also, Ellen, I think with Jolywood's pop aid would there initially the sort of the yield in production was a bit of a challenge. Is that right? And is this working at large scale now, or are you running this process at
Yes,
gigawatts?
actually, like most of our production line are shifting to the Popeye right now. And as we are the first company to adopt these technologies, and so actually our competitivity is not very large. So for the modules competitivity, we have 3.5 gigawatts. So it may be limiting our competitiveness, but I think we still have like much room to improve these technologies. And I believe it will be improved better in the future, but we will, and I believe we will continuously to use these Popeye technologies.
Uh-huh. And I know in developing pop aid, I know you worked with another equipment supplier as a partner. I mean, is it
Yeah.
something that other cell manufacturers might have access to in the future, or will it be only a Jolywood technology?
I'm not quite sure about this, so it will come to the company level.
Okay, sure. We can we can say yeah, not sure about that for now. Um, okay, well, we're coming up to the end of our 1 hour. I will squeeze a couple more questions in. Florian, there's quite a lot of interest in the audience actually about I think a couple of the systems you showed us again were using bifacial on rooftops. Is this well, yeah, is this something that's growing? And do you see even with those quite low designs, do you get much off the rear side of the module?
So what we see is that that bifacial modules will take more and more market share. That's why we are also implementing Jolywood modules to our portfolio. Because we see this development, and we also tested bifacial modules on flat rooftops, and if there is any benefit of more production on flat rooftops, for example, in combination with our Aerofix G3 system. And yes, we can say there will be more production on a flat rooftop. I also got some information from customers that you can have on on other rooftops that there will be also an benefit. But Of course, then you should not choose black tiles on the roof. You should take white tiles or silver tiles on the rooftop. Yeah.
Sure. And I mean, would you expect to see systems kind of built a little bit higher, or would that be too risky with wind?
What do you mean? Sorry, I did not get the
With
point.
like having the modules raised a little bit more above the
Ah,
rooftop.
okay. I I think, and that's why we developed our Aerofix system. That the thing, or that this is a very good yeah height for working with. Of course, for bifaciality, it's better to going higher to get more light in the back, but in combination with wind and the conditions on the rooftop, it's better to keep it on a smaller height.
To keep all of these
Yeah,
concerns
and
balanced.
and and what we also can say, of course, when you go to a power plant, the bifaciality brings more power output than on a rooftop. That's I think it's clear. But we can see that we have a benefit also on flat roofs, and I think that is what many people do not have in mind when they think about flat rooftops with bifacial modules. They think, okay, they bring not any benefit, and that's not like this. You have a benefit on flat rooftops. And of course, a better benefit with silver foil on the ground than with black foil.
Okay, sure. Okay, thanks for that, and I think that is a great place for us to wrap up today. Thank you once more to Ellen and Florian for your presentations today, and for sticking around for the Q&A as well. Thanks also to everyone at Jolywood and at IBC Solar, and of course to my colleagues here at PV Magazine as well for working to put together a great program for today. Finally, thank you to all of our viewers for joining us, and to all who submitted a question. We really do value your contributions to the discussion, and my apologies, as always, that we can't get to all of the questions that were asked today. Otherwise, we have just put the finishing touches to our December 2022 edition. That is out tomorrow in online and in print. And that, as always, is packed with the latest on solar and energy storage from around the world. You should have a little preview of the cover popping up on your screen now. We're looking this month at solar's role in rebuilding a resilient energy system, whether that's in Ukraine, where energy infrastructure is increasingly being targeted for attacks, or in Puerto Rico, whose grid has been badly hurt by hurricanes and earthquakes in the past few years. Beyond these regions, we also look at how Europe and the US are centering solar in their policy plans to deal with soaring energy prices this year. And we have some updates on manufacturing technology in both China and India. That's our December edition out tomorrow. Head over to pv-magazine.com today to pick up a subscription. Lots more great webinars on the way as well. On Wednesday, my colleague Maria will be talking inverters for commercial projects with a sneak peek inside one producer's quality assurance lab. And then on Thursday, Maria, again, a busy week for her, will be looking into all things energy storage with a market overview and a look at best practice in battery system design. So don't miss out on those. Again, you can register for free now at pv-magazine.com/webinars. For today, though, that is about it. Any second now, you'll see a short survey pop up on your screen, just looking for some feedback on today's webinar. And we do really appreciate if viewers can take just a minute or two to fill that out. Your feedback is really valuable to us. So thank you in advance for that, and we hope to see you at another PV Magazine webinar very soon. For now, though, that's goodbye from all of us. Goodbye.